Hi guys, it's just me, Rico from JustReikkoTV, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I am extremely excited. Why is that? I am excited because I am about to share with you guys the entirety of my garden in our very first garden tour of the 2026 summer season. Yes, I've planted everything out over the past few weeks. Things has been growing really great, and I figured now is the best time to share the fruits of my labor with you guys in a garden tour. As you guys can see, there is a lot of greenery going on in the garden. There is lots of things that we have growing in the garden, and I am extremely excited to share it all with you guys. All right, so come along with me as we walk through my garden. All right, guys, so I have two different parts of my garden. I have a main garden area, which is what you guys are looking at right here. Then I have an herb row, which is right over there. And then I have an expanded section, which is right over there. And then I have a few things growing in my green stalk right over there. But right here, we are going to start at the beginning of our main garden. And right over here, we have our corn growing. So I have two different varieties of corn that I'm going to have growing this season. And on this side is our golden bantam corn that we have. This is a 2x4 raised garden bed, and I have 19 corn growing in this bed. So that's pretty exciting. Coming right over here to our trellis is one of two of our indeterminate tomato plants. This tomato plant right here is our Bountylicious tomato plant. And as you guys can see, we have fruit that is already starting to grow on this plant. Now, I'm in Pittsburgh Zone 6B, so our weather took a while to really start to get warm. So some of our things are growing a little bit later than they normally would. Companion planted with the tomato, we basically have right here are going to be some chives. Now, right over here, I have several grow bags. In this grow bag right here, we have a ground cherry plant that is pretty thirsty. So after this video, I am going to be watering most of my garden, so I'll be able to feed this ground cherry plant. But yeah, this ground cherry is in a 5-gallon container, and I think moving forward we'll put our ground cherries in larger containers. Let me stick that tag back in there. All right, so in this next grow bag right here, we have one of our two okra plants. This is a Clemson spineless okra plant that is just starting to grow, and it is companion planted with one of our marigold plants. Right over here is our second okra plant that is growing a little bit better than the other okra plant, and it is also companion planted with marigolds. This is our Hill Country red okra plant. Right over here in this grow bag on the ground, we're going to have our sugarcane. I recently planted this sugarcane a few days ago, so it has not started to really grow out of the ground yet. Is this something? No, this is just a little stick. It hasn't really started growing out of the grow bag yet, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty excited about the sugarcane. Now, right behind here, you guys remember I planted these things in this garden bed. This is our mixed fruit garden bed. And right over here is our two container dwarf tomato plants. And these are two determinate tomato plants. And they are going to be called, what are they called again? Olive shades. Yeah, these are our olive shade tomato plants. And I don't know if you guys can see, but let me see if I can. You guys see that? It's growing some fruit in there as well on this plant. Much fruit hasn't started growing on this one yet, but definitely lots of flowers. Then of course I have two marigold flower plants growing right there. And then right over here, as you guys can see, this is another ground cherry plant, but this ground cherry is looking a lot better than our other ground cherry plant. I think it's just loving the space that it has to grow in this raised garden bed. This is a 6.5 foot by 2 foot wide garden bed, so definitely a lot of space for it to grow. Right over here, being shadowed partially by my ground cherries and my eggplants, is going to be our bush variety green beans. So I have 3 different variety of green beans over here. I have the which one is this? In the middle is going to be our tender green, and then I have Antigua green beans growing right there. And then on this side, I have some Blue Lake bush beans that are going to be growing. Right behind that, we're going to have 2 of our white eggplants that is growing. And the eggplants has been growing like flowers on them. And I've been coming out here. There's another flower right there. I've been coming out here and just shaking the plant so we can definitely try to get it to grow a bit. So yeah, that is our second raised garden bed, but our first large raised garden bed. Right over here, we do have 1 of 2 of our 5-tiered green stalks. And I like to call this green stalk my flower garden green stalk. There is nothing but flowers that is planted in this green stalk, specifically snapdragons. I absolutely love snapdragons, and look at the beauty in these colors. Just beautiful. So many different color snapdragons growing in the empty spaces where the snapdragons died out. I added some wildflowers in them. I added marigolds in one, and then we have like zinnia in one of the pockets as well. And so, yeah, this is our flower garden green stalk, and it's actually doing really, really good. Coming right over here in this corner of the garden, we do have 2 of our roselle plants. We call it roselle. Some people call it hibiscus. Some people call it Jamaican sorrel. But these 2 plants has been growing like pretty good. And they are both companion planted with bush bean varieties as well. So they're doing pretty good. Right behind them and on the trellis, we have right here is going to be our grape plant. Our grape plant has been growing pretty decent. It's starting to grow up the trellis, so it's looking good. Which one of our grape varieties this is? This is going to be our St. Croix grape. So this is going to be our bluish purple grape growing right here. And then right over here, we have 2 grow bags with potatoes in them. And let me see if I can see the variety of potatoes we have growing. Can I find them? This is a russet potato in this bag. And I cannot find the tag for this other bag right here. But this is 2 of our many varieties of potatoes that we're growing. All right, now let's walk back around here a bit, guys. Coming to the other side of the garden, we have our second corn raised garden bed. And this is going to be our ambrosia corn. I grew ambrosia corn last year, and I absolutely loved it. There's 19 ambrosia corn plants in this raised garden bed as well. Right over here, we have our second indeterminate tomato variety that is growing up on this trellis. And this is our tangerine creme plum tomatoes. These are supposed to be some of the sweetest tomatoes out there, so I'm really excited to try them. They're going to grow into this orange color, and as you guys can see, there are lots of tomatoes that are growing on this plant, so that is exciting. And it is companion planted with basil in which I'm going to have to pick really, really soon before it starts to grow to flower. Now, in this second raised garden bed, you have nothing but peppers and flowers in this garden bed. We got some sweet alyssum that is growing in here. And then we also have lots of marigolds that is growing in between the peppers. And then we have more sweet alyssum growing over here on this side as well. And then as far as the pepper varieties, it's mostly spicy peppers. I know this is a chili pepper right here that is growing quite a bit of peppers on the plant. And then this pepper plant right over here, it's starting to grow fruit on this plant too. Nice. Which one of my pepper plants is this? It's starting to get like really, really big. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, this is our red habanero. This is one of our two red habanero plants. And then we have our Jamaican mushroom pepper plant right over here, growing a lot of peppers on there. Then we have our sweet pepper plant. This is our Jimmy Nardello. It's been growing some really, really good peppers on there. Some of the peppers have been turning red, so can't wait to harvest those. Right over here is one of our many chocolate habanero pepper plants. It's starting to get buds on some of these flowers. And then right over here, this is going to be our bell pepper, and there is starting to be peppers growing on this plant as well. So pretty exciting. Two more pepper varieties right over here. We have our Scotch bonnet that's going to be right here. And then this variety right over here. Which variety is this one? I'm sorry, guys. I'm growing so many varieties. This is another chocolate habanero pepper plant. Now moving right over here, we have three more peppers. And these peppers, as you can see, are growing in grow bags. They're all companion planted with an herb called culantro, which is a beautiful herb. And this right here is another one of our Jamaican mushroom pepper plants, and it is growing so good. Our Jamaican mushroom plants has been so prolific in growth. It is really, really awesome. One of my star pepper plants that I'm extremely excited about growing is going to be our tiger jalapeno pepper plant. Now, I'm going to be talking about this tiger jalapeno pepper plant in a separate video, but these tiger jalapenos, it starts out to be like this purple color, and then it's going to start getting stripes on it. And when it reaches like full maturity, it's going to end up being like this red color. But right now it is in the purple growing phase, and it is absolutely beautiful. So excited about that. And what I also heard about this pepper plant as well is that it's not going to be as spicy as your typical jalapeno pepper, simply because of the pepper that it was integrated with. So pretty exciting, but I'll have a separate video on this for you guys. And then right over here is going to be another one of our Scotch bonnet pepper plants. Our Scotch bonnet pepper plants have been a little bit slower with growth this season, but that's okay. I definitely expect a lot from it. All right, guys, moving right along. Right over here is our second 5-tiered green stalk. Now in this green stalk, you see a lot of flowers, but it is more than flowers in this green stalk. We do have in the top layer, we're going to have like sweet alyssum. Then in the second layer, we have our carrots that is growing, and they're growing really, really nice. What is this? Oh, that's a ladybug. I hope I didn't hurt you. Oh man, that was a ladybug that was on the carrot plants. And then in the third row, we're going to be filled with marigolds. Lots and lots of marigolds. Fourth row, it's going to be filled with sweet onions. They're looking really, really good as well. And in the last row, we have more sweet alyssum. All right, moving right along to the other side of this trellis, we have 2 more bags of our potatoes. And then we do have our second grape variety that has started growing on the trellis. And this grape variety is actually going to be our Hammond white seedless grape. So we have a purple grape and then we have a white grape that is growing. So yeah, pretty exciting. It's growing really good. Right behind me, we have what we call berry row. In this row, we have nothing but berries. Right over here, we have our Jersey blueberry plant. We just got this plant a few months ago, and there's already just a few blueberries that is growing on this plant. We really don't expect much blueberries to grow on the plant this year because this is the year of establishment. Now, right over here is going to be our top hat blueberry plant, and it's still not providing me any blueberries. But the mistake that I think I made with this plant is I don't think that I pruned the plant coming out of winter dormancy. I don't think I pruned it. So maybe that's what's causing it to not grow berries yet. But technically, this is a 3-year plant. So we should start seeing something maybe next year from this plant. Right over here, we are going to have our pink champagne currant plant that has been growing like really, really well. I'm not sure if you guys saw me plant these berry plants, but they were so small and they have such great growth that's growing on them. Right over here is going to be our gooseberry plant. And I have to be careful with this gooseberry plant. Why is that? Because they have thorns on them. Look at all these thorns that are growing on my gooseberry plant. I had no idea that they would be growing thorns on them until I got pricked by it. So got to be really careful about that. And then right over here, we have 2 of our elderberry bushes. This one elderberry bush is starting to form the little elderberry fruit. They've already had the flowers and things like that on it. And once the flowers start to fall, the fruit starts to form. So we may have a few elderberries this season. So that's pretty exciting. And we are fully entering our expanded garden area. And then we have another trellis. Now on this side of the trellis, we have our Blue Lake pole beans that's going to be growing along the trellis. And it is going to be companion planted with some oregano. This is going to be just a regular oregano. The oregano has been growing really good. It's been spreading, looking really nice and healthy. So pretty excited about that. Now this row right here, we have 4 different varieties of potato plants. All of these potato plants has been growing in 7-gallon grow bags. They've been growing for at least 30 days. And they vary as far as time of actual readiness. Some of them are going to be ready in 60 days, some 90, some 120. So it's really exciting that I won't have to harvest all of these potatoes at the same time. We can harvest throughout different times of the season. Right over here is my 3-tier strawberry green stalk, which my strawberries has not been doing the best this season. I actually have to go in and cut out some of these bad strawberry bushes that has been growing. but I've had new strawberry bushes or strawberry bare root plants that I bought this season, and none of them has been growing or giving me any luck. So what the plan is for this is, so the plants have been growing a lot of what do you call these things? The word is slipping me right now, but it's been growing a lot of these. And so what I've been doing is I've been actually sticking them in the pockets with some of the other bare root plants to see if it'll catch and see if I can actually be able to get another strawberry plant out of them. So like, as you can see, this one right here I've planted, and it's looking like it's already like rooted. Let me make sure you guys can see. It's looking like it's already rooted in there, so I can go ahead and cut this off and let it continue to grow. But like, this is one of my bare root plants, and nothing has been happening. Nothing has been happening. Strawberries this year has not been the best, especially in the green stalk. All right, guys, right behind here, I had my collards right there, but I had to move my collards to a different area and cover it up because it was getting bit up by pests like crazy, so I had to move it. This right here is my golden beets. One of these beets I actually had to harvest because they were getting ate up by pests as well. And I'll do a video of that in a short to show you guys that. Right over here is going to be one of my dahlia flowers that I recently planted the tuber, and it is starting to grow. This is I don't have the tag for this one, but this one is supposed to be like a beautiful yellow sun gold like looking flower, so pretty excited about that. This right here is my kale, and my kale plant looks small, but that's because it just started growing back. So this was my first year growing kale, right? And just when my kale was looking beautiful, I came out one day, it was all ate up. There has been rabbits that has been sneaking in my garden and eating up my kale plant. I put a net over it thinking that that'll protect it, and a rabbit bit right through the net. So at one point I moved it to a different area of the garden and put it on my garden table so it'll be high. But I got some little protections around the garden to protect from rabbits getting in them. And I'm also going to be putting chicken wire around the fence to prevent the rabbits from getting in. That way, by the time my kale plant starts to grow back, we'll actually be able to have a good plant. Right over here, guys, on this second side, oh no, we got a white moth. You better stay away. Right over here on the second side of this trellis, we do have another blue leg green bean that is growing up the trellis. And in this grow bag, we actually have thyme. So we had oregano in one grow bag, and now we have thyme over here in this grow bag. Right over here is going to be another dahlia plant whose tubers that I planted, and this is how this dahlia plant is actually supposed to be looking. So I'm pretty excited to see those flowers. It's so beautiful. Right over here we have another row of peppers, and just to let you guys know, the reason that I have so many peppers is because I want to create mostly pepper seasoning, but also maybe a few pepper hot sauce as well. But for the most part, I'm really excited about actually growing seasonings for food from my pepper plants. This one looks a little bit droopy, so it might be ready for water, but it's still showing that it's a little bit damp in there, so I'm not sure why this is drooping like that. I'm gonna make sure that there's nothing like embedded in there trying to grow. I'll come back and check on that. But this right here, this is going to be one of our chocolate habanero plants. We have chocolate habanero long and chocolate habanero round. This is one of the chocolate habaneros, and this is another one of the chocolate habaneros as well, that has been growing, and lots of flowers on there. And then we can definitely see that there is some fruit that is going to be forming within the next few weeks. Right over here, we have two different pepper plants in this grow bag. We have our Jimmy Nardello and we have our pimento peppers in this grow bag. They both have been growing peppers like crazy. Some of them are turning red. Some of them I'm gonna want green, so I'll be harvesting those and showing you guys that video soon. Right over here is another one of our bell pepper plants. And look, we got a bell pepper that is growing. And then we also got a little spider web. Look at the spider web. You have to go somewhere else, baby, because I don't know if you bite or not, and I don't want you biting me. So, but peppers are growing on this. Really exciting. And it is companion planted with marigolds. Right over here is going to be our red habanero plant. And it is growing a lot of peppers on this red habanero plant as well. So that is pretty exciting. At least we know our red habanero is doing really good. Right over here is going to be another dahlia flower plant that we have. And this is how these dahlias are supposed to be looking. So I don't know if the dahlias are going to give my snapdragons a run for its money and actually end up being my favorite flower. All right, so coming right to the outside of our expanded garden area, on both sides of the garden area, we do have flower pots, and these flower pots are filled with wildflowers. I planted these just a few weeks ago, so they have not started flowering yet, but I cannot wait until they actually start to flower, because they're supposed to be bringing in the pollinators like the hummingbirds and the butterflies and things like that. So that's really exciting. And I cannot believe that I forgot to show you guys one of the stars of my show, which is my Bonanza peach tree. What are y'all doing on there? So this is my Bonanza peach tree. I just got this Bonanza peach tree a few weeks ago. So I am pretty excited about peaches growing on this, not this season, but next season. So yeah, that is my Bonanza peach tree. And then coming right outside of that area to finish off our garden tour, we have what I call herb row, and herb and tea row to be more specific. So in this row, all of these herbs can be used for medicinal purposes or of course for tea. And starting at the beginning, we have lavender and rosemary. We have eucalyptus. We have lemon balm right here. Right here we have bee balm and echinacea. In this little white pot back there, I planted a ginger root. We have lemongrass right here. We have sage. We have sweet mint. And then we have Moroccan mint as well as stevia. And I just said that this was finishing off the garden tour, but let's walk over and see what's growing in the greenhouse. Okay, guys, so I'm right over here by the greenhouse, and right over here, I have these two little dollar store thingies that I bought, and I put wildflowers in them because I want to put the wildflowers inside of the actual greenhouse, so that when I start lifting this area up, that we'll have pollinators to come in here and pollinate the watermelons that I have growing in this greenhouse. So let's open the greenhouse and see what we have going on. All right. So right inside the greenhouse, growing in two 15-gallon grow bags. The first is going to be, this is our Orangello watermelon plant. So this is an orange watermelon that we have growing in here. It has been growing like really great. Oh, I thought that was a flower that was getting ready to grow. These might be like flowers or something that might be getting ready to grow. Exciting. I might have to hand pollinate them. But this is an orange watermelon, and the goal is to allow it to really start growing and maybe grow up or down these little shelves. And that way I'll have some way to rest the watermelons when they grow. And it is companion planted with a marigold. And then this right here, this is our black diamond watermelon. It was planted a few weeks after our other watermelon, which is why you don't see it growing as much, but it's a little bit droopy, so I definitely need to feed it and water it as well. But this black diamond is supposed to be growing pretty big, and once again, we want it to start to grow along the shelf areas or even the ground. And once again, it is going to be with a marigold. So yeah, guys, let me just give you guys a quick little walk around again so you guys can see everything we have growing in the garden. It is looking so beautiful. And so yeah, that would be it for our very first garden tour of the season. So yeah, guys, that is actually it today for our very first garden tour. Really exciting. We still have a lot going on out here. We have a lot to clean up, a lot of things to do, but I wanted to share with you guys what we actually have growing on in our garden today, and I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. It's just me, Rico from JustReikkoTV. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, fam, peace.